Hello and welcome to Artist Express. We're very happy today to have with us Andre Harris, a videographer who lives and works here in Salina. Andre, tell us a little bit about your work. Now, when I hear videographer, it makes me wonder or think that you're probably working with digital images. Is that correct?
Yes, it is, Connie.
Did you ever work with filming?
No, I haven't.
All right, so you started right out in the digital age.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about how you got started.
Well, I got started actually when I was talking with a friend of mine, and he told me, he said, you know what, you should go over, which was Access TV at the time, now it's Salina Media Connection.
Yes.
He said, you should go over there and volunteer. And it was funny, but I responded, why would I want to go and volunteer?
And then how did you come to an awakening on that score?
Well, one day I woke up and I was passing by, and as I was driving by, I stopped in. I asked a little information about what they needed me to do. I filled out the paperwork. I paid a fee. I showed up. I got trained or certified on the equipment. And from there, it was a go.
Good, that's great. Well, tell a little bit about the subjects of your videos. Now, I know that your very first project was called Deacon Pat?
Deacon Pat, yes.
Okay. Can you tell a little bit about that and how it came to be?
Deacon Pat appeared on the show that I format called What's My Purpose? Now, it's funny you would ask about this in particular show. It took me at least 6 attempts before we could even do the final.
I see. And why was that?
Well, one, I was inexperienced.
All right. Experience counts, doesn't
Yes, it does. 2, I was determined. Okay. And so, you know, I came back to the studio. I let the producers know. I say, well, you know what? Maybe this isn't for me. But 3 years later, I'm still here.
That's great, and I'm glad you are. Andre provided some footage from some of his videos, so you at home will be able to see some of those as we're having our conversation. Now, what is your inspiration? What drives you to make a video about a certain subject?
Well, whether in Salina or around the country, because some of the shows do air on YouTube. A lot of people are downtrodden, discouraged, depressed, if I could use the term. And the shows are designed to inform, inspire, and to impact the viewers. Now, what is my purpose is a particular show to kind of challenge a person's intellect equilibrium to where they would reinvent themselves. Because when you say, what is my purpose? Well, a person is digging deep down inside and saying,
right.
What is my purpose?
That's exactly right.
And so when I interviewed Deacon Pat, he did he does an after-school program.
Oh.
And so from anywhere from 5 to I think maybe 14 is that within that range of children, you'll have some judges, lawyers, and doctors, and so that's why I picked that in particular show to do.
I see.
Deacon Parker, can you please give us a panoramic view of the goodness of God you have seen manifest in the young people's lives, as many have practically grown up in the after-school program?
Definitely. I would go back to the different experiences that we can give them, you know, with God being in this program and just helping us to get different resources, get different people to partner with the church and help us do things in this program that we wouldn't ordinarily be able to do by ourselves. So God is blessing the program because obviously He sees that we're trying to do something to edify God, to bring the Word to these young people at an age where that they can maybe grasp this Word and try to live it in their lives and use it in their lives. So I think that is the view, that if we can give them something at this age, that when they grow up, they can use it and actually put it to application in their life, that's really a blessing to see those kind of things happen.
How did you follow up on your first success after 3 years?
Well, I just got, how shall I say, motivated because each time you see an individual, most people don't know their potential.
Oh, I agree with that, absolutely.
And
Yes.
so one of my main objectives is in any of the videos that I do, if a person can recognize they have potential, then understand that potential, then release that potential and maximize it, then I believe that I've, how would I say, I've completed part of my mission.
And achieved part of your purpose.
Exactly.
At the same time.
Right.
Now, I know that you moved to Salina from Chicago.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm curious about how you view the opportunity that you received as a videographer here in Salina as compared to Chicago.
Well, in Chicago, I could just as well easily, take a telephone and do a video of myself. But here in Salina, I have a great opportunity to expand my horizons and to be able to enhance my skill set.
That's great.
So Salina is a great city for opportunity, whereas the Chicago, you have opportunities, but it's really tough to get into business.
And the opportunities are not as close at hand as
Exactly.
they are here.
Yes.
Yeah. And now, talk a little bit about your process. When you go out and shoot a video, then what comes? I mean, let's say you're doing a 15-minute video. How much studio time then do you use in editing and so on to make it the final product?
Okay, if we talk about the process, Connie, first I scout location, and then I pick out the attire I'll wear for that day, and then I'll go and shoot that video. Then when I come back to the studio, it may take me probably anywhere from 1 hour to a week.
Yes.
Because with my work schedule, I'm not as, how shall I say, I don't have the availability to edit like I would like to.
Right, yeah. But you are set up at home to do that? You connect to a computer to edit, or is it strictly in your camera?
It's strictly in my camera, but yet at the same time, I come to Salina Media connection.
Ah, so you utilize the facility here
Right.
to help you. Well, that's a good service then.
Right.
Are there others in the community that do the same thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that's
And if
wonderful.
anyone would like to volunteer at Salina Media Connection, all they have to do is drop by, and that opportunity is there like it was for me.
And they can get started just the way you did.
Yes, ma'am.
Exactly, that's wonderful.
Of course, I was a little scared to get started. I hope they don't.
Oh, I think we all are
Right.
when we're tackling something new.
Right.
And now, just out of curiosity, how long had you wished you could be a videographer?
Well, to be honest with you, my granddad, he was a photographer. So when I recognized he was a photographer at, I'll be honest, 8 years old. It took from 8 to me being 18 now, and that's just a joke. But no, it took from 8 up until the age that I started, which was about 3 years ago.
I see.
And once I got started, I felt as though I was, taken up after my granddad.
Right, that's wonderful.
Only he used the camera and I used digital.
And use a digital
Exactly.
format.
Yeah.
Do you hear from people who have watched some of your shows
Absolutely.
and have a chance to visit with them about, particularly I'm thinking about What's My Purpose. Have you visited with anyone who has shared their experience as a result of seeing your shows?
Yes, ma'am. On What's My Purpose, I have a brother-in-law, and he views pretty much a majority of the shows that I've filmed, and he gives me feedback as
good.
well as little input, you know, because I'm always open for constructive criticism.
Right.
And if it's negative criticism too, I welcome it because, you know, you learn from your mistakes.
Oh, absolutely. That's
Yes, ma'am.
maybe a little better than
Oh, yeah.
success sometimes.
Yeah.
Just being ready to accept those mistakes for opportunity.
Right.
Now, are you involved at all with any of the other art forms, visual art, music, dance, or drama? Have you had experiences in those realms that have influenced the way you make your videos?
Well, when I was in high school, I was involved with what they call that. I can't think of the workshop they used to do in high school, but that's what motivated me.
I see.
Yes. And so I do view various art forms.
Right.
Because in Chicago, you know, we had
Oh, yeah.
museums up there, and so I used to go and visit them and be inspired. And then, you know, walking down Santa Fe Street here in
Yeah.
Salina, I see the different art forms that they have, and that inspires me as well.
Good.
But I don't get a chance to get into a lot of the, you know, events that they show,
Right.
but I need to get involved.
Well, you know, there's a dance company that was in Chicago, the Chicago Dance Company, and then it was Joseph Holmes, and then it changed names and so forth. But they have had a very strong relationship here in Salina.
Oh, yeah?
And I know that one of the requirements for the dancers who were in that company was that they go to art openings, to
Okay.
concerts and so forth,
Right.
because even if it isn't a direct connection, sometimes a little inspiration just comes.
Right.
Now, do you find that you have a heightened observation of things that are going on in what we call regular life, aside from your art life, that has an effect on your ideas?
Well, yes. One of the main things that I've identified with as far as, you know, being heightened from being a videographer versus real life is I pay attention to detail, because in the various shows that I do, if I see an individual as being challenged but they can be used in a video, then I approach them so that they can get some sort of inspiration or encouragement, you know, by participating in the video and then going back home after it's been edited and then seeing themselves on a video, and then that gives them more confidence.
Right. Well, and it may just entirely change their perception of themselves.
Exactly.
Right. So I'm wondering whether any of your subjects have taken the leap and decided that they might be interested in doing this kind of work.
Well, I haven't heard as of late, but they're always willing to be re-interviewed, if I could say that much.
Yes. It sounds as if you would be a good mentor for someone.
And I do look at, you know, that opportunity, but at the same time, I always allow them to make that approach to me. Yes, ma'am.
And do you ask for ideas from your subjects sometimes about how they would like to see themselves presented?
Oh, definitely.
Ah, and have you gotten some insights from that?
Yes, ma'am. Definitely.
Okay, that's great. Well, before we go now, do you have a website?
Not at this moment. I only have a Facebook page, and that's What's My Purpose
Okay.
on Facebook.
All right, so viewers, if you would like to see some of Andre's work on screen, go to Facebook, What's My Purpose, and check it out. Thank you so much for coming today, and we've never met before,
No,
so
ma'am.
it's been delightful to talk with you, and I'm glad to know you're here and working. Thank you again.
Thank you, Connie, for having me here.